Thank you. Can you hear me now? Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. It's also an honor to be in front of NAIFA members. I haven't been to Vegas for quite a while. In fact, the last time I was here, I was doing a convention overseas at Palace. And I was married at the time. Not anymore, but I'm at the gambling table. It's kind of a funny joke. I thought of it last night. I'm at the gambling tables, and my wife's standing behind me, and there was a prize fight going on at Caesars. And all these people are coming by, and she's going, wow, look at that. There, he's from, Days of Our Lives, and look at this one, and look at that singer. Oh, and then, oh, there's George Clooney. Boy, these guys are, and so finally I couldn't take it. I turned around and I said, wait a minute. I said, listen, if you took away their hair pieces, their cap tooth, their nose jobs, their liposuction, and their elevator shoes, what would you have? She said, I'd have you. So, not anymore. I'm going to present with you three ideas. Yeah, it's X. I'm going to present to you three ideas today of marketing events you can do in your communities that are designed to help you not only identify, but get in front of the right quality candidates, prospects, who actually are going to be asking for information about one or more of your products or services. These events are simple. They're simple to conduct. They're affordable compared to what? They're affordable if you're doing either kind of leads or advertising or mail programs. They're highly effective. And I'll show you how, and also they're fun. And one of the things about these events, I'm still a producer in San Diego, even my coaching practice. I do these events. I work with agents out in the field, and I help get these things done. And they can be quite effective and quite a lot of fun. I learned a major lesson when I first got started in the business. I started with Liberty Mutual in Worcester, Massachusetts. Worcester was kind of strange in those days, still is, Massachusetts anyway, but everyone's auto insurance expired on January 1st. Didn't matter when you took your car insurance out, December, July, January 1st, so on Labor Day, you just had an unlimited amount of prospects. So Bill Fagoni was the guy that hired me, and Bill, to this day, is a lifelong friend of mine, but he was like an older brother. And one of his greatest attributes was field training, and I still think that's one of the great things that bring new people into the business. So it's a September evening in New England. We're driving out. We have 3 appointments, and we're driving in Bill's 1967 red Mustang with a black interior, 3-speed on the floor. We're driving up, beautiful. The colors are changing, the leaves. And so we stop at a traffic light, and over to the side, there's a filling station. Bill says, hey, see that kid pumping gas? Now, I got some young people in here. Prior to 1980, you'd pull your car in the station, people would come out and pump gas for you, okay? And they'd clean your windshield and check the oil. And I said, yeah. He goes, that kid's parents are insured with Liberty Mutual. I know them. He has a car he needs to insure. Go talk to him. I have no clue what I'm going to say. So I get my briefcase. I walk up. And as I'm walking up to him, I'm feeling very anxious. As I get closer, I'm feeling more. He has farmer's overalls on. No disrespect intended. He has an orange T-shirt that's ripped at the shoulder. He has whiskers, a tooth missing, and he has a Boston Red Sox cap on sideways about 30 years before that's fashionable. So I don't know what to say. So I said, excuse me. I said, you know Bill Fagoni? He goes, who? He's pumping it. Who? Bill Fagoni. Where does he live? Westboro. He said, man, you're in Webster. You're 30 miles away. Okay. Aren't your parents insured with Liberty Mutual? I have no idea what my parents are insured with. Now, the only thing keeping me breathing is my involuntary muscles, okay? And the sound in my ears is the blood draining from my brain, all right? So finally I look at him, I said, well, don't you have a car you need to insure? And he goes, what? I ride my bike to work. I don't even have a car. So I turn around, I walk down to Bill, and he had left. I figured he drove around the block. He left me there. I'm standing on the corner. I should have had a sign like they do now. Hey, drop money in, unemployed insurance agent. Bill finally pulls up. We get in the car, and we exchange some colorful language. He's laughing. And I'm kind of cussing at him in English and Italian, all right? And so I said, they didn't know you. He goes, yeah. He says, I know. He says, so what'd you do? He said, you stand here with your thumb in your nose for the last 10 minutes? And I said, yeah. He said, look, Ray, there's 2 unalterable rules in this business, all right? He said, there's a multiplier effect. If one's 0, they're both 0. Number 1, you got to get in front of the right people. He said, that's not the right people. You get in front of those people all day, you're going to fail. Number 2, you got to know what to say when you're in front of the right people. And that still holds true today. Now, I know that you said earlier, why do 80% of the reps fail in the first year? It's not because they don't know what to say. What happens? You run out of people. All right, this is good. I go way back. I've been several decades in this business, okay? And I see some people who may be along those times. We all got started doing what? Project 100, remember that? Project 100, the LIMRA book. You give it to you and you fill it out. Hey, we want to find out if you have a natural market. What's my natural market? Stop and Shop. I don't know what natural market is. So you fill out. So the first 25 or 30, you got names, occupations, spouses' names, income, professions, kids. The first 25 or 30 are pretty good. Next 25 or 30, you know a little bit less. okay? And it gets less and less. And if you're like me, or like I was, the last 30 or 40, you just made up names, okay? Just hope the guy gives you the job, okay? But how was it on those first 25 or 30 names? We got in front of a lot of people. It wasn't that people said, hey, oh yeah, I was waiting for somebody from that company to call me. You got in front of them, why? Because you had a relationship, okay? And you got to them and said, I'd like to show you the kind of work I do. Jason, yeah, by the way, here's my trainer, take over, okay? We made clients out of a lot of them, didn't we? Then the basis is that it's much easier to make a client out of someone you already have a relationship with. And I know many people fail at the Project 100. You get through your Project 100, and where do you go? You know, leads, et cetera. So I'm going to show you today how we can how would it be if you could reproduce those first 25 or 30 contacts every month? Because that's what this will do for you. Now, by the way, if you want to take notes, fine. At the end, I'm going to have a link to my website where you can download all the handouts, okay? So this never been more difficult to get in front of highly qualified people. You look at demographics. I grew up in an all-Italian neighborhood. I mean, it was post-World War II homes. You had Massey's, Longos, Mazzucatos, Tedescos, Vendettis, Liddells, but her maiden name was Longo, and the Mazzolas and the Mazzalupos. You know, if someone was looking for something in the Witness Protection Program, they should have started on our street. But we knew every kid. We grew up with the same kids. We knew their brothers and sisters. We knew the pets' names. We knew the names of the cousins that came to visit on Sunday afternoon. When we had holidays, you had neighborhood cookouts. You know, everyone all got together, knew each other. And you could be smacked around by any adult on that street. They all had that authority with you. People didn't move. When it did, it was like a death in the family. In fact, there's still people on the street I grew up on that it's a second or third generation. Our town of only about 6,000 people, all the business owners were almost all owner-occupied. We had Joe Lavettri's food liner. Joe was the meat cutter. He was behind the counter. Jack D'Ambrose, Jack's barbershop. Jack had 2 chairs in his barbershop, never know why. You know, he was the only one ever there. All right, did you have hair? And I'm looking at some of the younger people here. If I was to say that someone received a gold watch from their employer, what would it mean? 50 years of service. Josephine Tedesco, 50 years of service with an employer. Of course, it was a Timex with 14-karat plated, okay? But a gold, what's it like today? I mean, you get into business there, you get a network of people. What's it like today? I walk my dog every morning, Jack Russell Terrier. I know the other dogs, some of them. I know the owners. I couldn't tell where they live. We don't get together. We do see neighbors. You know when we get to see neighbors? When you're called into a homeowners association meeting because you violated one of the 980 CC&Rs. All right? Yeah. Okay. People move. It's not unusual to get up next day and found out someone moved in the middle of the night, okay, and took with them the carpeting and the cabinets and the plumbing. It's tough to find owner-occupied. I read a statistic in California that of all the new businesses, small businesses that are started, less than 40% have owners on the premises. So the demographics become absolutely critical in how we're going to replenish this. That's what we're going to talk about, marketing through events. Now, people have all sorts of different comments about marketing. It's one of the most misused, the multi-line marketing. But one of the things I'd like to say for our benefit is marketing is about developing a relationship with someone, getting someone to know and trust you. And they can't trust you unless they know you. And if you think back about the relationship selling, how many times if you get a lead or something, you try and build a relationship, talk about your company and what you do and yada, 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 it's almost impossible. So if we can get you to identify and build some relationships that through marketing events ahead of time, it's much easier to make clients out of them. Richard Wildman, I've worked with Richard for years. Sales keeps you in the business, but marketing keeps you in sales. There's a lot of benefits of event marketing, particularly build relationships on a valued basis. I'm going to show you how it can increase the quality and quantity of your prospects, creates a local distinction if you want to build your reputation, and increases and magnifies referral business. A lot of different types of marketing events. I'm going to talk about lunch and leave. Everyone knows the fishbowl, right? You know the fishbowl? You see a fishbowl here. Drop your card in here and win a free lunch for you and your spouse. Usually it's with a rep who does a PowerPoint presentation for an hour and 25 minutes, and you can barely eat your salad in between forkfuls. Okay? This is an updated version because this is something that will work, and if you were coming to work for us, brand new in the business, we'd have you doing this because of the way it's effective. By the way, it's nice to get these things going while you still have 90 people in your Project 100, because you'll have contacts when you get out. Golf tournaments, not putting one on. That's you have a local golf tournament here in Vegas with the chamber? Yeah, it's a shortcut to an early grave if you try to put one on. This is about sponsoring a whole. Kid Care ID program. Many of your companies have proprietary thing where it's an identification program. Another thing, wine tasting, that's California, huh? Client appreciation events. If some of you have been in the business a long time with a large book of business, you can run some client appreciation events and make an event market out of it. Nursery events, not like this. Nursery. The #1 pastime of wealthy people in the United States is gardening, okay? CPA box lunches. How many of you as financial professionals would like to have strengthen your relationships with CPAs? Talk to me. This is the way to do it. And with April 15th and 14th coming up, this is a great way. Pumpkin giveaway on Halloween, and cigar aficionado events. A lot of non-smokings in here. Of course, this is pretty good too if you match it up with a wine tasting. Of course, when you do fill out the application for life insurance, you got to ask the guy straight face, do you smoke? Nah, never. Okay. I'm going to go through the first 3 today, okay? And I actually have this whole presentation in a CD that I'll sell for $10 when we get done. But I'm going to go through with the luncheon leaves, and I'll go through how to conduct them, how to answer, even how to answer some of the objections you're going to come up with. Here's the concept. Drop your business card in our fishbowl and win a free lunch for you and up to XX of your coworkers. Winners selected weekly. This isn't a drawing. Okay? You're going to select the people you want to get a free lunch. And you can put as many as 5, 6, or 8 of your coworkers. Now, I have had some people in some of my practices say, well, that's not really fair. No, we're telling them it's selected. We're not saying it's a drawing. So if you're looking for artisans or self-employed individuals, great. If you're looking for small business owners or things like doctor's offices, et cetera, you're going to wind up, you can actually pick out and do this and have some fun with it. Here's some actual numbers of one that we did. We had 8 participants at lunch. I'm going to show you the entry forms. 5 requested additional information on the services. The next day, 2 appointments were set. There was a universal life written for $1,600. In 4 days, another appointment set. Now, the event took less than 15 minutes to conduct, cost about $45, $50. If you're buying leads, I don't know what you're paying for them. I'm not saying stop the program, but this is a highly effective way to do it, and it's a great way to build your network with people in the neighborhoods. Here's the benefits. They get to meet and listen to you prior to you asking them for an appointment. You get to learn some things about them. There's generally all local businesses. This is the way it goes. Now, the fishbowl is always an interesting thing. And the most difficult part of this program is getting the fishbowl placed. Many stores really don't want this to happen. We have to sell it to the restaurant as extra business. If some of you have delicatessens or particularly ethnic restaurants like Chinese restaurants or Mexican restaurants, if you're noted there, the idea is to approach the business owner and sell it as additional business. You can select mid-size or average businesses. Drive around town. Look at some of the business parks. Hey, if you're multi-line, look for the nice cars outside, okay? The Mercedes, the Lexuses. When we get started, it's nice to have at least 3 locations. Why? Because one will work well, one won't work at all, and one will probably, be in the middle. And we try to sell it. So you go in here and say, look, I got an idea that maybe can help expand both our businesses. How? Well, look, what we'd like to do is put this fishbowl in here and have people drop their business cards. I'll come in once a week, pick up the cards, and I'll have a lunch, at either 11 a.m. or 1 p.m., so it doesn't affect your regular lunch crowd. I don't need a meeting room. I only need a few minutes, and that's all I need. And, many people right off the bat say yes. Many people say no. Why? I don't know. But I've recently worked with a woman to go get some of these fish bowls placed. And the first place we went into was Pie Wide. Do you have that out here? Oh, I say yes and no. You go in there, and they had a fish bowl. They said, drop your business card in here and win a free lunch for you and up to 5 of your friends. I'm thinking somebody else got here. So I said, who did this? They said, oh, that's the manager. It's the manager? Yeah, that's the way we build our database. So really? Oh, yeah, we get in our database and we send things out. I like it when you call for a pizza and they say, you want sausage and pepper? How do you know this? I mean, the NSA knows everything these days. So you go in there and, you go through and you get the fish bowl, and some people say fine, some people say no. But Pie-Wide, we just said to them, hey, would you like us to do that? Why would you do that? Well, we're crazy. And not a lot of explanation. We just like to do this. We'll have the lunches here. So we go in, we pick up the cards, we give them the names for their database, and then we contact it. I've seen them in Panera Bread also. So many of these places already do that. It's nice to have people that have wait service staff, okay? I had a brand new agent, and she and her husband were very fond of this Mexican restaurant. We went there, we got the fishbowl, got it placed. She came in on Monday morning, the following Monday, and she's walking in like she ran over her cat. And I said, what's the matter? She goes, I went to get my cards this morning. And I said, what happened? She said, there were only 4. 1 week, there were only 4. What do you call those 4 cards? Winners, you know? You can have appointments with all of them. You're not making the selection as a drawing. You're selecting it. So the biggest part of this is trying to get trying to get the owner to go ahead and sponsor it. I have an Italian restaurant that I know the owner. He has a deli on one side and a restaurant on the other. I'd go there for lunch, and we'd go in the back, have a bowl of pasta, and have a glass of wine. That's all right. It's my office. So anyway, so I have a glass of wine, and I went up to him and I said, Dominic, I'd like to do this, and I don't want this here. Get away. That bothers me, and I want my customers. Okay, I don't go there anymore. But if you have some place that you go, make it a midterm. I have many of the people actually use reps. They'll use specialized menus. You want to tell them no alcohol. That can run into a problem when they get loaded and try to charge you for it. But you can use specialized menu. I had a young man from the Penn State area who had named all his different sandwiches for all these different Penn State players. You can have a lot of fun with this, okay? And it is highly effective. So, use a selected menu, remind them. Use alliances to offset costs. I'm going to show you the card that we use, okay? If you're in the multi-line arena, I know everyone's looking to work with realtors, all right? Send you a piece of business. Realtors are and if you've been in the realty business before, now you're in the financial services, congratulations. But the fact is, realtors spend tons of money on their websites, on mailings, on all these other products. But when they see this, they're going to want to offset your costs and work with you here. So when we get the card, it's easy. So I'll get the card, and I'll say, what's your first name there? Jason? Hey, Jason, this is Ray from Mia's Restaurant. Something else about this. People tend to have a negative effect when you say, I'm with Ray with, Mutual of Omaha Insurance Company. Anytime you mention insurance company, I head for the woods. All right, but hey, Jason, this is Ray from Mia's Restaurant. Hey, congratulations, you've been selected as our winner for a free lunch for you and up to 5 of your employees. Hey, I'm just wondering, would tomorrow at 11 or Thursday at 1 o'clock work for you? Thursday, okay, good. I'll call you to find out how many people are coming, see you there 15 minutes early. Now, sometimes they give you an objection. What's this about? No, it's the way I network. It's the way I network and expand my business here. Many people think that you're from the restaurant. That's okay. It's okay. I'm a CLU CHFC. Okay. What that means is at least a couple of times a year when I get my card out, people will say, "Thank you, Mr. Clue," or they'll say, "So you went to UCLA?" "Yeah, I went to UCLA." Okay. But the fact is, you don't have to be, hey, I'm an insurance company and everything else. Just, hey, I'm from the restaurant, and it usually is. Now, people may say, well, let me talk to my friends first. I'll get back to you. Nope, got to do it now. I got another person to call. You either, it's like the dialing for dollars. You either say it now or you're gone. And people say, well, I don't know if I can do it. Fine, get another card. That's the great thing here. When you have one prospect, you follow them every day, don't you? It's like having one life app in underwriting. You're watching it minute to minute to see if it issues, okay? So if you have the abundance of these things, it works out fine. Let me tell you what happened with Amanda. She comes in, she has 4 cards. So next week she comes in, she's got 40. I said, did you bring a 9mm with you or what, to get the cards? She goes, no. She goes, I asked to meet with the wait staff. And she said, I told them that I was trying to promote this and I wanted to get as many cards as I could. And she said, I said, you get your cards from your patrons, write your name on the back, put it in there. At the end of the week, I'll come in. Whoever has the most cards, I'll give a $10 Starbucks card. Kind of crazy, huh? Starbucks, you don't own stock in it. Now, she's getting 40 cards. Think she has some people to talk about? One of the first ones we did when we sat down, it was a realtor company. And they sat down, and of course, what transpired was the following conversation. All right? Here's the form we use. And you'll adjust it to whatever your company, whatever products you use. You can see that it made it through compliance because of the 8,000 words at the bottom, okay? This came through compliance. It did not go in this way, but it came out this way, okay? And you go there, life insurance, retirement strategy, tax deferred, et cetera. But you get over to the right, and we have homeowners and auto on here. But in the last four, say mortgage services, land purchase, new home purchase, buying or selling a home. When you do these events, someone's going to come to you who's a realtor and say, hey, what are you doing with those leads? Nothing. Why? Well, gee, I'd like to do it. You can actually find realtors and loan officers to go ahead and sponsor some of your fees on this. And we have several people that actually do pay for half of these lunches with the hope that they're going to get one of these things, and they do. If you do 3 or 4 of these, every once in a while, someone checks that off. The auto and home insurance, an amazing thing about this card is that 2/3 of the products and services that are checked off are financial services. I don't know why. Maybe people see auto and home as a demand product, but 2/3 of these are filled out. So basically, you get the people, they come in, you meet them, you greet them, you have a chance to chat a little bit, you take them to the table and you sit down and you say, look, this is actually a free lunch. I mean, really, this is the way I network. I'm Ray Vandetti. I have a insurance and financial services business here in the city. This is the way I network and build my database and meet other businesses like you. Now, these are some of the products and services that I offer, and I pass out the form. There's nothing in front of them. Pass out all the forms and a pen and say, if you're interested in any product or service, check it off. I'll make sure that you get the information. If you're not interested, don't check it off. But I just need your name for tax purposes. So just give me your name, okay? And that's it. Then you let them fill it out. They fill it out. You collect the cards, and you say goodbye. Now, this is really funny because they say, well, aren't you going to join us? Yeah. 5 friends from work and an insurance agent. You take the sharp objects off the table. Okay? That'll never work. Should you stay? I don't know. I don't. I think it's kind of funny. And you get out to the car, and you see who checked stuff off. And some of the amazing things happen is people are checking things off without really knowing what insurance company you're from. Now, I coach people, and they do this in the financial services with Mutual of Omaha, New England Financial, Multi-Line, State Farm, American National. The funny thing is people don't really care right now. Will they care eventually? I'm sure they will when it comes down to product and reputation. But in the beginning of building a relationship like this and doing this service, people are not that interested in who you represent. For your newer people that are a little concerned about, hey, maybe not as confident, so you rely on a company, trust me, it's not that important at this stage, okay? And then, so you pass through, and there it is. One of the first ones we ever did, a gentleman sitting there says, excuse me, he says, I know I need more life insurance, but I don't know how much. Can you help me with that? Oh, and after a while, too, you do 2 or 3 of these, you're going to run into people who say, I have an old 401k, my old employer. Do you rollovers? Yeah, it's on there somewhere, isn't it? It's on there. If you're doing it with another agent, you want to just take that and put that in your pocket. No. But you get a lot of questions, college funding. So you get back, it's almost a rule of 50%. 50% of the people check off the boxes, and some of them do multiple. The callback is really pretty easy, too, because now I'm going to call him that afternoon. So Jason, I see Jason, he checked off life insurance, okay? And I call him up and say, hey, Jason, this is Ray from Mia's Restaurant. How you doing? How'd you enjoy your lunch? It was great. Yeah, it's a nice place. We like going there, too. That's why we do it. Hey, enjoyed meeting you and your friends from work. I really appreciate it. By the way, you checked off life insurance. I'm just kind of curious. What were you thinking? Nah, nobody says that. He said $1 million, 30 years level term. Now, he's on the internet. He doesn't need me. But they say, well, I don't know. I thought I might need some. No, that's fine. Instead of going for an hour appointment, okay, we just go, well, tell you what, let's get together for 10 or 15 minutes. I'll tell you the kind of work I do, find out more about you, and if we're interested, we can move on from there. What must everyone say, and this is probably one of the key points, what does most everyone say when you try to get some information to them? They tell you to do what? Mail it to me. Mail it to me. Now, 30-plus years in the business, I've heard this all the time. Mail it to me. I've heard responses. Well, I wouldn't know what to mail you. Or I have to send a U-Haul. My company doesn't allow me to mail it. Look, those are all pretty weak answers at best. They never work. Here's an answer that works. So if Jason says, mail me to me, I say, Jason, I can mail anything you want. Okay? But let me ask you a question. When people say mail me something, I find it's usually 1 of 2 reasons. One is they're genuinely interested in the product or service I have to offer. Okay, but they don't want someone coming out to their house or their office, spend an hour with them, high pressuring them to buy something they may not want, need, or even understand. And Jason, that's not the way I work. Or the second reason they say mail me something, it's a polite way of saying, no, I'm not interested. I'm curious, which is it for you, Jason? Some people will say, I'm really not that interested. You saved them from being a liar. Now, I don't know about you. We can email stuff, but you put stuff in the post office lately? Holy cow, the rates keep going up like crazy. But the fact is, people will say, no, I'm not that interested. Hey, Jason, fine. That's okay. That's fine. Don't worry about it. See you later. Bye. You hang up. But most people will say, yeah, I really do, but I don't have time, in which case you can try to set the appointment for 15 or 20 minutes. This is a highly effective way of doing it. And your appointment is not a sit-down presentation. It's a good meet and greet. And you've already provided a free lunch for them. And it is genuinely a free lunch. You get some, every once in a while I have some calls of coaching clients. I had one guy say, he called me up and he says, I can't get anybody to fill out the cards. I've done 3 of these, I don't have any cards filled out. What do you say? He says, well, I say, hey, I'm working for so-and-so insurance company. I've been in business for 105 years. We're A+ rated, and we sell auto, home, life, umbrella, mutual funds, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, you're boring a dead person, That's crazy. That's why you can fill it out. Another person called, and you just want 2 or 3 minutes, just to be brief. Another person said, I can't get hold of anybody. They give me bogus numbers. So you got the card with the guy's business number on it. Call him at work. And we always want to see the people at work. Why? Because you can see the other people that had lunches. So if you're looking to have some fun, and whether you're multi-line or you're financial rep, this is a great way to do it. For newer people out here, you run out of your Project 100 names and say, well, now you can get referrals. I'm a certified instructor for Bill Cates, Referral Coach International. Trust me, unless you have a real down-to-earth program that you can conduct on a daily basis on referrals and know how to talk, most of the referrals we get are probably passive at most. So it really doesn't work that way. This is a way to replenish the people that you can see for prospects, and a way for you to get in front of them. Not only that, you're only contacting the people that have asked for information from you. And I've actually had situations where I've met with them. I went out and did a fact finder with the family, came back with a presentation before they even knew the company I was with. So that's one of the key issues with this whole thing. And this information request form is one of the key items for this. All right? Follow up. Be sure to follow up next day. You're only calling because they required it. And it's an outstanding way to do it. I work with agents I've found in the field. If you're in San Diego, I'd offer to go with you too. You have a blast. You go out and do this and watch it demonstrated. But it's highly effective. What do you think? You like that? Hope so. Here's an average cost, maybe $4 to $8, average attendance 6 to 8. Sometimes it'll cost you $36 or $40 to get 2 or 3 highly qualified people. I was coaching a producer up in Denver area who was doing a lot of Emerald seminars, spending about $28,000 a year doing Emerald seminars. And so I said, shift some money over to here. And he went to a high-end sushi restaurant, and he had some amazing results. Your results are going to be keyed in by the quality of people that you're finding at these establishments. So, all right. The second one's golf tournaments. And how many of you have ever played in one of the golf tournaments? Does NAIFA have a tournament here? NAIFA sponsor one? Playing a golf tournament. That's nice. You get to spend about 5.5 hours with people you may not like, and you're just drinking just to make the time go by. Okay, it makes it fun. This is it. Not putting one on. You try to put one on, it's deadly. But you're sponsoring a hole, and we're going to have longest drive using a marshmallow. I'm a single-digit handicap, but I'm not playing well, so my friends are sending prepaid cabs to make sure I go play on Saturday mornings. But the fact is, if you play in a golf tournament, they always have longest drive, right? Some of these guys hit the ball 300 yards. It takes me sometimes 2 shots to do that. So this is longest drive used as a marshmallow. Now, I was a GA for many years, and we did a lot of these events. And I had this a former lawyer by education who was an agent. That created some issues. But he came in and he said, I'm going to do a golf tournament. He said, I'm going to have a longest drive using a marshmallow. Now, being a good manager, I said, let's see how it works before I decide to support it or not. If it doesn't work, I can say I told you. And if it did work, I'll say, great, you did it, okay? So he comes in, he comes back. He had a blast. He had a blast doing this thing. Unfortunately, he was a little on the heavy side, and they kept calling him, the Marshmallow Man, all right? But it's a wonderful thing, and you come up. It's a great afternoon. First of all, who pays $150, $250 on a Wednesday afternoon to play around a golf? People with what? Money, all right? I'm amazed when I do these tournaments, I go out there, people come up they drive up, they got thousands of dollars worth of golf equipment. They're a 25 handicap, and they're using Pro V1 balls that are $50 a dozen. So people have discretionary money to spend on what they want. Who can attend the golf tournament middle of the week? Self-employed people, business owners. How many people are in one location, sometimes 100, 120. How many others like you will be there? Nobody. You can put your little sign up, you know, and what type of atmosphere, and people want to have some fun. We often say in San Diego that if you break a tooth or a bone on a Wednesday afternoon, the best place to go is a private golf course. That's where all the dentists and doctors are playing golf. This is the golf event that we conducted. We had 102 participants. 89 completed that survey form, okay? Sometimes people go up, they don't want, this is stupid, I won't do it. Don't. It's my my event. Of the 89, 47 requested specific information about our services. All right? The 47, 15 appointments were set the next day, 11 were set day 2. 32 face-to-face appointments set. And I don't know what you would pay for something like this, to get 32 face-to-face appointments. But the fact is, this was about $400. And when we started out, what we had was a single prize. We had 3 prizes. You get a landscaper's flag, and you use that to mark it down. Now, there is a trick to it. I can't tell you or I have to kill you, but there's a trick to how to hit it. But people tee it up. They put pennies in it. They put tees. They try to hit it with their drivers. It's insane. So we had $100, $50, $25 first, second, and third prizes. So, you know, we're out there having a few beers while we're doing this. So we decided one time what we would do is just go to 2 prizes, okay? How did the results change? Not at all. Then we went to 1 prize. The results didn't change at all. People are out there to have some fun, and you're providing an entertainment for them, and you're really distincting yourself, okay? You create an experience. Now, people can take group and individual photos. You can have prizes and donations. I had one agent whose daughter was a cheerleader. And so he went to the school, and he paid a donation to get 2 other cheerleaders to come. And so when they came up on the tee, they would say, what's your name? Jason. Jason, Jason. He's our man, all dressed in their cheerleading stuff. And he's taking pictures. And I'm sitting there thinking, this career doesn't work. He's got a great start as an extortionist, okay? Send it home. You have prizes, donations. We've done for Leukemia Lymphoma Society in San Diego, and the prize was $100 in your name for the longest drive. You can do anything you want. I had a rep, too, who was doing it with the pool association, Pool Cleaners Association, and he had like 4 gift certificates to Rubio's. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. So you can adjust it to whatever you're doing. You start the beginning relationship. No business, no brochures. All right? What happens? What happens? You pass out, oh, here's our brochure on our IRA. They throw it away. All right? You don't see them like Tony Soprano writing stuff down. But I'll tell you something, you have some funny ideas. This is a great 4 hours, and if you don't play golf, it's even better, okay? So I'm working with a young agent. We got everything set up. We're driving up to the tee. We're going to set up what I'm going to show you in a second. And we got all our forms, and people really misspell my name, Vandetti, all right? A lot of times they spell it like it's Dutch, capital V-A-N, capital D-E-T-T-I, okay? Well, they had a sign, Vandetti Insurance, but the capital V and capital D, from 20 feet, it said VD Insurance, all right? And the kid I'm with says, we can't do this. Wait a minute. Sometimes God has strange things. We had some interesting conversations, okay, from that. We've also had somebody comes up and says, hey, I'm not going to, I don't want to do this. Don't. You have your 4 clipboards. This is actually one that we did when we had. You can see we have a keg there. Some courses will let you bring the kegs on, which is fine. And there's a mixer there, too, for margaritas. You have sun and golf and booze. Usually you have a pretty good time. The people now are filling out forms. So we have that information request form, and we have 4 clipboards so they can all fill out the form. And they get over it. And I'll show you something else, too, that happened here. This is funny. Over here, John Smith Insurance Agency /logo. I don't know if anybody ever changes that. I think everyone does this. You know how many people ask about John Smith? Nobody. One guy asked me if Pocahontas worked for us. I didn't get it until I got home. Couldn't figure it out. So here it is here. Now here's a guy hitting a golf. It's kind of a casual thing with the shirt out. He's hitting a marshmallow. You can see that. And there's the 2 people to our right. The man is our agent, and the woman there is a mortgage broker. And she decided that she wanted some of those mortgage leads, so she's participating. A little rule of thumb, if you do this, you don't want to do it in front of their water hazard because it wreaks havoc with their irrigation system. But that's why they have insurance, okay? So here's another one. Here's a guy with pretty good form. You know, he's releasing. You can see the marshmallow just above the little ball. See the gentleman to the right? You know, it goes to show you that you don't have to be an athlete to play golf, right? And what do I need to bring, okay? You bring a pop-up tent, usually provided, a table, a chair, snacks, information request forms, marshmallows, baby wipes, because the sun gets on these things, it sticks. Now, people are a little competition drives people crazy. So we get a guy out there, he's got a brand new Callaway driver. He gets up there, he gets the driver. We're looking, where'd it go? We're looking. We look, it's stuck on the face of the club. He takes this $400 club and throws it 60 yards down the fairway with a little draw. You know, I said, sorry, you're ineligible. You're ineligible to win. It's fun and it's a great afternoon. You want to keep the marshmallows. The other thing is, marshmallows break down in the sun. Okay, and when they break down, they turn to sugar. And who likes sugar? The hornets, wasps. So if you don't pick them up real quickly, so one day we're doing this thing, and we're going over to the other green where the Lawyer's West is, and we're dropping them in this big, waste basket over here. Well, the poor people are trying to putt with swarms of wasps coming after them. That was also funny. I have an epinephrine kit in my golf bag anyway. But you have some blasts. We had Joe Montana came through. We was up in the Bay Area. So did Jerry Rice. Jose Canseco came through, we think, because when he signed his name, it was just a real squiggly X on it. We had a gentleman come up who's a builder. He comes up, and Larry, you see the same people when you do 3 or 4 of these events. Why? Because they're playing all of them. Guy comes up and he goes, hey, yeah. I said, Larry, look, don't even bother. You always check off retirement strategy. We never get a hold of you. We call your number. No, I'm really interested. No, I'm not. Just hit the marshmallow and go. He says, no. So he takes the form, turns it over, and he writes on the back, he puts a number down and says, here, call me tomorrow with this number. Even my wife doesn't have this. So I don't know who else had the number, but we tried to get hold of him. Now, you can do this with other agents. That presents a little bit of a problem, because if you split the leads down the middle, you know that you're going to get the $30 a month term, and the other person is going to get a $250 a month permanent policy. It can happen that way. The best thing, if you do together, you have some fun, and you just split the leads right down the middle. But some of the results can be pretty interesting. We contact them the next day. Again, the call is pretty easy. So I call over here. What's your name? Clarence? So I get a card from Clarence. Hey, Clarence, this is Ray from the golf tournament yesterday. This is Ray Vandetti with CLU CHFC. No, this is Ray from the golf tournament yesterday. Hey, by the way, how'd you have? Did you have some fun yesterday? Yeah. Did you win anything? Yeah. Nobody does. I don't know what they do in this tournament. Nobody wins, Well, I saw you drive the marshmallow, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but I have the name of my chiropractor here. The way you swung at that, I wasn't even sure you'd be at work, okay? Do you need a referral? Oh, by the way, you checked off college planning. I'm just kind of curious. What were you thinking? For your kids? Okay. And you got anything in mind? Or, what have you done so far? I'm looking to get out of it. I'm looking to get a 15-minute appointment with this guy. And so I said, okay, hey, how about if we get together? Maybe take 15 or 20 minutes. I can tell you a little more about myself and the work I do, find out a little more about you, and if we want to move forward and get together with you and your wife and talk more about this, how would that work? Sounds good. Tell me, mail me something. Mail me something. I actually trained agents to do this. Agents are I love new agents. I don't have any kids, but if I did, they probably would have killed them before they reached 50, but like new agents. I got a brand new agent. I trained him how to answer this. I want to mail it 1 of 2 ways. So I'm on the phone with him one day. I'm working with him, and somebody says, yeah, that sounds good. He says, don't you want me to mail you something? And they said, no, I can mail. I grabbed him. What are you doing? He goes, hey, I worked for 2 days on how to answer that objection. He says, I wanted to hear that. Tell me, mail me something. That's confidence. That's confidence. And you're only applying. Now, I tell people, too, I don't want to get called. We're only going to call you if you check something off. And that's the advantage of having a number of these leads. And these aren't real leads like if you buy leads for mortgage insurance or where you got 20 people calling them. These are people that requested information from you. And ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, I am amazed when I do this. It really doesn't make any difference who you are. They just say, yeah, I kind of like some more information. And so it's a great way. I had almost $1 million in mutual fund sales back several years ago from doing the golf tournaments and the lunches with new agents. They weren't funds licensed. But boy, did they get licensed in a hurry when you start doing some big rollovers, okay? So it's a wonderful way to do things. Now, I remember that this morning, Paul said that 86% of people are looking for new financial advice. Here's where you find a lot of them. We have some managers in here. Have other insurance agents come up to you and ask if this thing is working. It's a great prospecting tool. It's a great training tool. Okay? Expectations. You get 20 or 30 leads, people that actually request information on your products or services. Expanded referrals, dramatically increased case size, high-end exposure to key people. We did one up in the Bay Area. It was a mayor's cup. And we did it with, I did it with another agent. We're doing it. The mayor comes through, and they fill it out. And one of his constituents were there, or one of his employees, checked off disability insurance, which is a little rare in these. But anyway, I got it. I contacted him. I got an appointment. We went in and talked for about 15 or 20 minutes down at the city hall where he was. And he gets done, and he says, hey, you want to see Ron? Ron who? The mayor, Ron. Remember, he came through? Sure. So he walks me down the hall with these huge, big double oak doors. He goes in, and the mayor is having a staff meeting with about 12 or 13 of his staff. And he says, hey, Ron, he says, remember him? That's made an impression. Remember him from the golf tournament the other day? Yeah. With the marshmallow? Yeah. And the mayor tells his whole staff about the golf tournament and everything else. And he said, well, why are you talking to him? He said, well, we don't have DI here, and get into a conversation. That's the kind of high-end referrals you can get because you're dealing with some high-end people. So in the affiliate marketing, boy, you get real estate agents will pay their share to do some of these events. Now, if your fund's licensed and you have a lot of the fund companies send their marketing reps out, we've actually had, I won't say the companies, but we've had companies that have gone ahead and sponsored half the cost to do these things as marketing events. So we do some mutual funds business, and they wind up paying half of it. Where to find tournaments: newspaper, publication, Chamber of Commerce, charity, vendors. Enterprise has a huge golf tournament in all the major cities for all of their providers. Pro shops with the tournament director. Here's one going on. I'm trying to get an agent to go with me. 2014 Law Enforcement Foundation Golf Classic in San Diego. See if we can do this. Always nice to have the gendarmes on your side. You never know when you're going to have to pull that ace card out sometimes. But I did one several years ago with the Chula Vista Fire and Police Department, Chula Vista, California. They call me every year. They want to know if I want to come out. They had a blast, okay, doing some of this stuff. It's a great afternoon, and it's a great way to meet people. It's funny how they remember you. You know, they don't remember who you work for, but they'll remember that you were the marshmallow man, all right, the person with the marshmallow. All right. Now, the last one's the Kid Care event. Anyone ever done these with the Kid Care ID programs? Most of your companies have proprietary things. It's photo identification, fingerprinting, vital statistics, emergency information, rules of safety. It's a great public service. I don't have any children, okay? But the fact is, when the first time we did one of these kits, we got our kit in and everyone's looking at it, and one of my reps, she goes, oh my God. I said, what? She goes, the first thing it says inside the book is, never, never, never have your children's names on any of their clothing or anything. And for Christmas, she got her two daughters 2 knapsacks with their names engraved on the back, or a monogram. So it goes and it tells a lot of things about what to do and how to educate your children. It's a great community service. It has vital statistics. Usually what happens is when you set it up, you can get someone from the fire department or police department to come and do the fingerprinting. It's always nice to see the fathers who know exactly what to do in the fingerprinting. You always wonder what their background is, okay? But they do that, and it's a quick and efficient way to do it, and provide safety rules and keep their child safe. Where to hold an event: community gatherings, local family events, picnics, parades, street fairs. I live in a town called Rancho Bernardo, just outside of downtown San Diego, and every year they have a street fair. And several years ago, 3 agents from one company decided they were going to do this. And so they had a big, big booth set up, and they must have had like 20 people in line with their children. Now, for those of you who have ever been in a line at the post office, when you've got 15 things to do and you can feel the vision behind you burning through your brain, these people weren't happy standing in line. And when you got up to the counter, they were doing, okay, well, you sit here, we'll take your picture, we'll do this. And they're passing out brochures on homeowner, auto, life, annuity, everything. And what are people doing as they're walking away? They're dumping it in a trash bin. So I waited about 3 days. I knew the guys. I called them, said, how's it going? Oh, this is great. We did over 300 kits. I said, how's business? They go, we had a few calls. Well, what happened? They never captured the names on those information cards. So one of the things to do, I said, hire me as a coach and I'll train you on this. So one of the things to do is come up and have a fishbowl, actually have a drawing, and use this information card for a, I don't know, $100 gift certificate to whatever, okay? J.C. Penney, Sports Authority, whatever. And people are filling out the card, and it's about a 50%. What do you think the number one item is checked off on these things? College funding, okay? So, works. Daycare, preschool. This was a list. This was a corn fest. It's outside of East Bay and San Francisco, the Bay Area. But these are a list of everything. This is one where they set up. They had all these different vendors set up, and all the families come through. It was over a 3-day event. Great, great time to do it. This was an actual result of one of my coaching clients. He had his wife was a teacher, and they had a kindergarten registration. 500 people coming to register their children for kindergarten. He had 135 kits completed. 100 completed the information card. 44 checked boxes, mostly life insurance and college funding. Most of them were multiple requests. 17 appointments were set in 3 days. Cost him $245. Okay, and what you hear right now is he's getting back. The reason the appointment ratio is so high is because they're asking you for information. And somebody send me an email when somebody says, mail me something. You're gonna laugh at how wonderful that is, okay? But people are requesting the information from you. And these 3 events, the lunches take 15 minutes, and they'll cost you maybe $50, $60 a week if you do one a week. The golf tournaments take some time to set up. On the CD that I have, on the handouts, we'll go a little bit more into it, giving you some lead time and where to find it as far as some of the golf. Anyone here members of any golf courses, country clubs? I was coaching a young man from New England Financial in Providence, Rhode Island, and he's going to do a golf tournament in Providence at a country club, and it's a benefit. We're getting everything set up. He calls me the day before and says, I can't do this. I said, you mean physically, mentally, a breakdown? What? Can't do it. And he goes, no, I can't. He says, our lifetime MDRT producer, the top producer in the agency, came to me and said that that's his country club and that he does all his business there and I won't get one lead. So he's on a different part of the country, so I could always change my number. But I offered him, I said, if you don't get one lead, I'll pay for it, okay? I'll pay for it. So he stands behind there. He does this. He gets 41 cards with 21 boxes checked off, okay? The following year, guess who's doing it with him? Yeah, the guy instead of playing in the golf tournament. So it's an amazing effort when you take the pressure off people. I also did I'll bring this up now just for a few more minutes, but I did someone who had an Allstate agency in Chicago, 7,000 accounts, and he's trying to grow and do everything. And I said, let's have a client appreciation night. He goes, okay. So he's having a big client appreciation night, and I said, get a fishbowl, use this card, have people fill it out for a drawing he had like 3 nice bottles of wine. He goes, I don't need this card. These are my clients. I've talked to them. I've asked them about life insurance. I've asked them about annuities. I've asked about retirement. Just put the cards down. Got 27 leads from his own clients. All right? So it's pretty amazing when you reduce the pressure saying, hey, what about your life insurance? Hey, what about your retirement? Hey, what about your IRAs? All of a sudden, people tend to respond. So if you're brand new in the business, this is something you've got to do as far as get things going because you're going to need this kind of new blood coming in when your Project 100 runs out. If you haven't established a business and you are struggling to get some new blood, any one of these is great, particularly if you have small kids. But I will say this to you, that I believe the number one reason people fail their first year in this business is because they're not getting in front of the right people. They may in the early months, and they may see it go, but as time wears on, you go into work Monday morning as an unemployed individual. And this is a great way to reestablish it. I do it, I enjoy it, I have fun. I'm out selling, same as everybody else is here, but I have to laugh when I bring people through this because the expressions on their face when it works is pretty incredible. Here's a link to my handout, rayvandetti.com/handout, PHP. I also have a newsletter that I do on a regular basis that you can sign up for there, and there's my email address, ray@rayvandetti.com, and my telephone number. If you'd like a presentation, I have a CD here. The CD is about 1 hour and 15 minutes. and it goes into some a little more detail, but it's good to have. It's MP3. You can play it in your car. So all I can say is, look, this is a lot. This is a great, I love this career. I love my job. I love doing these things. And if prospecting is the hardest thing in the world for you to do, try doing this. You'll find it brings a wealth of great prospects. You don't go home beat up after this. You go home really feeling excited and enjoying it. So with that, I wish you a lot of luck. It's been a pleasure being with you today. Thank you.